One of the most frustrating places you can be in your marriage is when you feel like you're doing everything you can, but nothing is working. You're trying to talk more, help her out more, ask her what she needs from you, and it feels like none of it is landing. And after a while, you start asking yourself, what am I supposed to do? But what most men don't realize is this isn't a you're not trying hard enough problem. This is a you're trying to fix something that's already emotionally offline problem. And until you understand the difference, you will keep spinning your wheels towards the path of divorce. So that's what I'm going to help you out with today. Getting clear on why nothing you're trying works when she's already emotionally checked out, and the only true path to reconnect with her and save your relationship. A really great way to look at your situation right now is think about sitting on a plane tens of thousands of feet in the air, and you're texting this thoughtful message, taking your time to say exactly what you mean. You fire that off and nothing. No response. It's just sitting in the text thread. So you fire off another one, maybe this time trying to clarify a little bit more or explain things better, and still nothing. At some point, you'd start wondering, is she even getting these messages from me? Now imagine you realize that your phone was on airplane mode the entire time. And yes, I know that a lot of airlines have Wi-Fi for messaging now, so let's add in that you didn't connect to the Wi-Fi or you're on a budget airline. Point is, it wasn't that your message was bad. It wasn't that you said the wrong thing. It wasn't even that she's ignoring you. It's that the message was never being received the way you thought it was. This is where a lot of men are operating from in their relationship. When things are going south fast, they try to communicate. They try to connect with her by trying to fix things. But emotionally, she's not in a place where she's receiving it the way she used to. She's emotionally disconnected, just like your phone on airplane mode with no Wi-Fi. And that changes everything. Earlier in your relationship, or even very early on when things started to decline, any effort you would put in mattered in a very different way. The mistake isn't that you're doing the wrong things. It's that you're trying to solve a problem that no longer exists in the way you think it does. You think the problem is I need to show her more, do more, and say more, but that only works when she's still emotionally engaged. Once she's checked out, the problem also changes. Now it's about how she's experiencing you while she's disconnected. When she was still emotionally invested, when she still felt connected, when she still believed things could improve, any effort then could have felt more meaningful. But when she already starts down that path of checking out emotionally, that same effort just lands completely different. A lot of the time, your effort starts coming back after a period of complacency on your part in the relationship because you realize something is off. So now what that starts to feel like to her is, why is he doing this now? Unfortunately, for good guys like myself and the men I work with in my coaching program, relationships do not run on intention. They run on her experience of your behavior in her current emotional state. And right now, if she's checked out, her emotional state is not open. It's in a very protective mode. This really sneaks up on a lot of guys because most times they're looking for this obvious breaking point, like a huge argument or something that's just a clear turning point where everything has changed in the relationship dynamic. But truly, that's not how it happens. It's usually much slower than that and is built up over time through a bunch of patterns. It's built through conversations when she tried to explain how she felt and didn't feel fully understood or understood at all, really. Eventually, when she feels like she's always walking on eggshells and there's no emotional safety left, that point is where she stops trying to be understood and she doesn't need any more resolution. The disconnection happens emotionally for her, and it gets to a point where nothing you say is going to change her mind because she isn't processing anything from a place where she trusts you. It's become that protective state that I mentioned. At this stage where you keep knocking on the door with logic or explanations or trying to negotiate or just trying harder even with giving gifts or pleading even, most men become focused on one thing: getting her to respond the way you want to. The sole focus is now getting her to open up and meet you halfway again. And everything you do starts to revolve around that outcome. You're watching her reactions and reading her tone. And when you're not getting the response you want, you start to feel disrespected and resentment starts to build up. It's imperative that you understand that the more your behavior becomes tied to her response, the more this is going to push her away because she's already feeling emotionally drained and disconnected. On top of everything else going on, being tied to her response makes her feel like she's carrying all of your emotional baggage while she's still trying to process her own. that's when attraction really starts to break down towards the point of no return. The real problem to focus on has absolutely nothing to do with needing to figure out how to get her back. Getting her to reconnect with you again is in direct proportion to the stability you're able to show up with in the relationship as a masculine leader. And right now, during this prolonged time of her disconnection, it's caused because you lost that stability in how you show up. I mentioned being tied to her response and everything, and that really plays on you and makes you like a roller coaster with your emotional state and behavior. There is this inconsistency in you that is shown. If she softens up a bit and is slightly more open to you, you feel great. If she pulls away a little bit and then you panic, you feel really bad. You need to be able to develop the ability to show up in a way that is not dependent on the immediate outcome. It has to be where your behavior doesn't spike based on her reactions and at times where she's either open or closed. You will be incredibly attractive to her if you are not swayed by how she is. When you're able to create an environment like this, it allows for the space where even if she's emotionally checked out, it's still going to create the curiosity in her and cause her emotions to re-engage. Now, I want to make sure you understand that you cannot control her. You can't force her to feel something that she doesn't feel at the moment. That is exactly why I'm trying to persuade her with logic or gifts or pleading. Like, none of it works. If you keep doing what you're doing right now, trying harder, pushing for that connection, reacting to her distance, and really asking from her what she wants from you, you're going to continue to drive her further away. Being able to learn the skills that create emotional safety and learning how to be the masculine leader isn't just a path to saving your relationship. I firmly believe it is the only path that gives you a real chance. This is the only path that truly takes into account masculine and feminine energies and removes the pressure off of her by replacing it with something that she can actually respond to emotionally. That's the only chance you have. So if you feel like nothing you're doing is working and you're pretty frustrated right now, I invite you to go watch my free masterclass. I break this down much deeper and lay out the most impactful and really time-collapsing path to saving your marriage. Because right now, it's really not about doing more, but it's about doing things from a completely different place. You can watch that free masterclass by clicking the link in the pinned comment and description below. And if your wife is really not talking to you right now, or everything just is feeling administrative to do with like the kids or the house, watch this next video called If She's Done Talking, This Is What She's Really Saying. I'll see you in that video.